All right, we're back. We're back. Finally uploaded. Everything is here. Finally back. Want to give everybody a few minutes just to come on. Finally got this thing situated. Not really familiar with using lives. I don't use lives that much. I'm more of a record and edit and upload type of person. Just let me know whenever you come in, where you viewing from on today, because I want to talk about 5 things that you need to let go of in 2020 that you need to get a divorce from. We oftentimes look at divorce as just a thing between two individuals. We look at divorce as a thing that only happens between two people through legal separation. But divorce can also be a verb, which can also mean that you can dislocate from something. So divorce doesn't just mean that there is a legal separation, but a divorce can also be a verb to mean to dislocate from something or separate from something. So I want to talk about 5 things in 2020 because just last night, before 2020 approached, I began to kind of reflect on my 2019 year and just things that I didn't really feel comfortable in 2019 and some things that I kind of held on to in the 2019 year. And I told myself and I told God that these are things that I do not want to hold on to going into the 2020 year because these things specifically have held me back. They have stagnated me. They have caused me to feel like a failure at times. They have caused me to feel as if I cannot do anything that has been set before me. And so we're just going to get right into it and just talk about these 5 things. So the first thing that we must separate ourselves from and dislocate ourselves from in this 2020 year is people who will think you're crazy. People who will think you're crazy. See, most people who don't have vision or don't have things that they want to do, they will sometimes try to put a damper on your plans or the vision that God has given you. So let's just say, for instance, you have a business idea or you have something that God has imparted into you. um, these other people are naysayers. They may say, "Oh, you crazy. What are you thinking? You don't even have X, Y, Z." And they try to give you all these alternative things that they feel would be a better route because they don't feel that you fit. They don't think that you fit the bill to go forth and do what you said that you wanted to do. And so people will think you're crazy. They will think that what you're doing, you can't do it. They may not be able to see it, but they may think that, hey, you can't do it. You don't have what it takes to do it. And these are people that we need to really X out of our lives. If they're not bringing positive energy, they need to go ahead and be removed immediately because you only want positive people in your circle in the new year. Because see, what'll happen is that negative energy will come around you and it will start to get into your spirit. So as a man thinketh, so is he. The good book says that. So if we don't have people around us to feed our positive thoughts, we'll end up taking those negative thoughts on, and those negative thoughts will kind of, I'm not gonna say kind of, but those negative thoughts will begin to overtake the positive thoughts, and we'll begin to start doubting ourselves and having all kinds of thoughts coming, in our minds that are not of God and that are not, you know, godly thoughts. And so, people who think you're crazy, they need to be removed. And the second thing that's on this list is your thinking. Sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. Um, I read a book a while back that really talked about how the mind, our mind, the way we think determines on how our day will go. I wrote a poem a while back as well, and the poem that I wrote, the last poem that I wrote, if you guys saw that, the last poem I wrote, I talked about, how to change your mindset. And that poem was just entitled For Someone Who Wants Change in Their Lives. And you can go ahead and look at that if I'm even saying the title right. I think that's the title of it. But that was the last poem I had wrote. And when I wrote that poem, I wrote it from a place of I wrote it from a place of relevancy. I wrote it from a place of relevancy because Me personally, I've struggled with thoughts. I've struggled with my own personal thoughts, and I know that that is something. It's called a poem for those who are stuck and want change. That's what that poem is called. Oh, excuse me. And so when I wrote that poem, I wrote it based on, being stuck in life. Sometimes our thoughts can make us feel stuck. Sometimes it's um, we don't feel we have what it takes. We don't feel we have the resources. We don't have the education. We don't have any of these things to help us move forward. And in the way, and I'm gonna tell you like this: that thinking will cause you to stay in the same boat. That thinking will cause you to stay in the same boat because I didn't change my thinking until it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I finally decided to make up my mind. I finally decided to start changing the way I think, start changing the way I view things. I had to change my perception and I had to change my perspective. I had to change both those things, the way I think and the way I saw things, because your your now can tell you that you don't have what you need to go forward. Your now, what you see, will tell you that, hey, I don't have everything that I need to really move forward. And what you'll end up doing is, okay, since I don't see it, I'll just come back to it later. I'll come back to it later. I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with it. This is frustrating. I don't have any support. Sometimes we don't feel like we have enough support to really do something. And you can't really depend on people to always support you because everybody wants to be supported. Everybody wants to be supported. Everybody wants someone to encourage them and give them a pat on the back. But even if you don't have people to encourage you and pat you on the back and say, hey, you're doing a good job and push you forward, you still have to know yourself that you have what it takes to carry out the vision that God gave you, because you can't expect, excuse me, you can't expect other people to believe the vision that God has given you. You have to believe the vision first for your own self, because it's kind of crazy that I would go to somebody with something and expect them to believe it. Nowadays, people have to see your fruit before they really support you with something, not knowing that everybody had to start from somewhere. So that's the second thing is your thinking. Your thinking, make sure you make it up in your mind first that I'm going to go forth no matter the obstacles, no matter how it looks, but I'm going to do this because this is my passion. This is what I'm passionate about. It doesn't matter if nobody else is excited as I am about it, but I'm excited. So that's all that matters. So I'm going to go forth. I'm going to carry this thing out. I'm going to do the research. I'm going to get mentorship. I'm going to invest in courses. I'm going to invest in whatever I need to make sure that I carry this thing out because it's my responsibility. So that's the second thing is your thinking. If you can transform your mind, if you can transform the way you think, you can transform life. You can change your life. I'm a living witness to this. You can change your life if you change the way you think. And so the third thing on this list is that was number one. Number one was people who think you're crazy. And the second thing was your thinking. So the third thing that's on this list is procrastination. Procrastination is the mother of all holdups. Procrastination is one of those things that that will allow you to be stagnant for years. I was one of those people. As soon as I get something, as soon as I get an idea, I would put it off months and months and months and then finally come back to it. And I was expecting something to grow that I never watered. I was expecting a seed to grow that I never watered. I was expecting something to grow that I never nourished. I never gave it what it needed. I had the seed, but I never planted the seed. I never planted the seed in the soil that it needed to be planted in. So by the time I came back to it, I'm like, okay, why is it not growing? Why is this not moving for me? Why is this not happening? Because you procrastinated. You started, but you did not finish. Starting and stopping. I made another poem about starting and stopping. So you guys go and check those poems out because when I write these poems, they are from a very, very relevant place. So procrastination, I would, you know, try to go back to it, but it's already like 6 months in, bro. Like I started and I would go back to it months later, trying to start something that I should have started then. Because evidently when you have something and it's meant for the right now, that means that you need to go ahead and be active on it. You need to go ahead and activate it right then. So if God gives you an idea, and it's just an example, God says, write a book. If you have something, that you've been wanting to write about, if you want to write a book, The first thing you need to do is get out a tablet. Get out a tablet and start writing just a few paragraphs. And what that's going to do is that's going to give you something to go back to. So that way, when you go back to it, you already have something that has given you momentum that you can keep feeding off of. That's how you normally start. Once you have that seed, you go ahead and plant the seed. After you plant it, you just come back. Come back, till the soil, till the soil. Make sure no weeds are not growing around it. Make sure ain't no birds trying to come and pluck it up. Just keep on just tilling. Keep tilling the soil. Keep tilling the soil until eventually something will begin to sprout, and you'll begin to start to see. And this thing that begins to sprout from something this small can blossom into something really, really big, all because you did not procrastinate and you begin to water the seed and fertilize the seed that was planted. So that was the third thing, is procrastination. We got to divorce procrastination. So the first thing was, once again, people who will think you're crazy. You have to divorce them. The second thing is your thinking. And the third thing is procrastination. And this fourth one, and I have two more of this. I have two more. It's five things altogether. And this fourth thing is feelings. Your feelings. Feelings are something that we all experience feelings. We all have feelings about something. We all have had some type of trauma or something in our lives before that make us look at the now like we looked at it then. So you may have had a bad relationship, and due to you having a bad relationship, you have new friends, you have new people who are currently in your life, and due to the fact that you remember how it was then, you base your then off of now. I mean, you base your now off of then, excuse me. You base your now off of then, not knowing that the present is another opportunity for a new relationship, for a new opportunity, for something new, period. It's newness that is set before you. And so these feelings, more than anything, my main prayer for each and every one of you watching, and my main prayer for myself is that my feelings will not overtake me. How I feel will not dictate how I go about my day. My feelings will not control what I decide to do on a day-to-day basis, because we know feelings are just like the wind. They can blow to and fro. They can blow to and fro. One day you're happy, one day you're sad. But I think you should still be productive and still be moving even when you don't feel like it, because I'm not gonna lie, I create some of my best work when I don't feel like it. I create some of my best poems when I don't feel like writing. I make some of my best videos on YouTube when I don't feel like making YouTube videos. So we have to get to that point where we begin to press through how we feel, not let our feelings determine, what we're going to do on that day. So more than anything, make that up in your mind as well. And this live is not going to be long because I'm not trying to wake my baby. We got home at 3 something this morning, man, having a great time bringing in the new year. So we came in early this morning. So I don't want to wake them up. So that was the fourth thing. So once again, I'm going to do a recap. The first thing was people who will think you're crazy. You need to get a divorce from them. Your thinking, you need to get a divorce from the way you think. Get rid of the stinking thinking. You need to get a divorce from procrastination, which is the third thing. And the fourth thing is you need to get a divorce from your feelings. And this is the final thing. I'm gonna let you guys go so you can kind of meditate on this throughout the day. And these are five things that you need to let go of in the 2020 year and get a divorce from. And this is your past. The final thing is your past. And I guess you can say past has to do with all of these things. And the reason why I just put past, because it pretty much sums up everything. We all have a past. Everybody has a past. Your past. And I put a post in my community, and so many of you liked it. And that post said, "Your past is your past because you passed it up." And I put that in my community. So from time to time, um, from time to time, in my community, I will put certain things, um, certain encouraging messages in my community, and that was one of the things. I got some good feedback off of that post, talking about your past is your past because you passed it up. Um, don't go back to it. What'll happen is the enemy will try to make you feel bad about your past. Well, you remember, you tried to start XYZ the first time and it didn't work. That's one of the thoughts. It didn't work last time, or don't go about it this way because you remember how that did, it didn't work for you this way. And now you're at a standstill place. And this is where that procrastination kicks in. You see what I'm saying? This is where those feelings kick in. This is where your thinking kicks in. All of that thrives from your past. Don't worry about what happened um, from there on up, but worry about from here on forward. You don't think from here backwards, but you think from here on forward. That's how you progress. You progress by moving forward, actively going forward. So that was the last thing I had on the list. And this year, if you don't do anything else, look out for your own well-being. And I don't want to say that in a selfish way because I believe that we're supposed to bear the burdens of our brothers and our sisters. But at the same time, you have to make up in your mind that this year, I'm going to invest in me. This year, I am going to nurture myself. This year, I'm going to pour more into myself so I can be able to pour more into others. My past is behind me, the things that I couldn't do or no more. His mercies and his benefits. He loads us up daily. He loads us up daily with new benefits. He loads us up daily with new benefits. So the benefit package that excuse me. But the benefit package that he gives us can never, ever be duplicated. It can never, ever be duplicated. And I wanted to answer a few questions, but I may come on and announce that I'll just do an open Q&A because I would love to hear what are some of your goals for the new year? What are some things that you are actively trying to pursue? Because I want to help as many of you as possible to get to that place that you need to get to. I can be very transparent. You're looking at a guy, you're looking at a man who started from nothing. You're looking at a man who started just 2 to 3 years ago, who had all types of negative thoughts, went through things physically. I had just all these things trying to affect me because the way I was thinking began to affect my health. It began to affect how I felt on a daily basis, stress and anxiety, depression. All of those things are real. Those things are real. So if we can start by transforming our mind, we can start by renewing our mind, then everything else around us will look like brand new. I guarantee you, everything else will look brand new around us. Everything will look brand new. So renew your mind. That's the first thing to do is renew your mind. Don't worry about who's not supporting you. Don't worry about what you don't have because if God gave you the vision, he's going to give you the tools to carry out whatever it is. I think we spend too much time worrying about, will it work or if it won't work. If he's brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. And I know I've heard that. You've heard that several times before. I've heard it several times before. If he brought you to it, he'll bring you through it. So that's all I have for now, fam. So remember that you were created to be more than average, but you were created to be dope. I have another upload that I will be uploading possibly later. And let me know in the comments below if you guys would like me to start doing more lives. And we'll just kind of converse and just talk about some things. We'll just do some Q&A sessions and things like that. Because I want to have a set day that I will start coming on throughout the week that we can start having these Q&A sessions because I want to cater to you all. I want you all to throw some things out there that you're dealing with so we can begin to kind of work on these things. And this is free life coaching that you're getting here. It's just free life coaching that you're getting because I usually charge for life coaching, but every video I put up, it is free. It does not cost anything. Every video that I put up, everything that I talk about, it's free knowledge, free wisdom that I give away for the free 99 because I care about your well-being just as well as I care about mine. So that's all I have for now, fam. Make sure in the comments below, let me know something that you're working on in the 2020 year and let me know some things that you're trying to overcome and just how you feel about the new year. And feel free to converse with anybody else you see in the comments. So until next time, fam, have a blessed day.